Talk special edition with Nina. I'd love to welcome our guest today.
Hi, I'm Nina from London.
Thank you so much for joining. I'd love for you to share a little bit about your background and journey with the work that you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm very much an advocate of speaking out, breaking the silence on domestic violence, honour killings, and any injustice really that's done to whether it's a small child or an older person. It doesn't matter who it is, just any injustices. I'm speaking on a platform in April, which is in Detroit on April the 10th. And we probably would try and put the link somewhere, I'm sure, but you can always try and find me for that link otherwise. But I'm going to I'm representing the country, so I'm representing the United Kingdom for the very first time. So I'm super excited because I've made history, and I'm going to be talking about how not to let the past keep you a prisoner and how to escape that, and also how to let go of anything that's hurting you. I've devised a way that I feel would help a lot of people.
This work that you're doing is groundbreaking and historic, and I'm so grateful that we have the opportunity to dive into this real talk conversation with you today to learn a little bit more about what actionable practices we can incorporate starting now to really embody this message that you're sharing.
Sure, yeah. The thing is, we are always left with a choice, but we don't always see that. And we had this conversation because I met you on Clubhouse, and I'm always very much talking about choice. But we have a choice whether we get up and walk away. It's not an easy choice, but then anything worth doing never comes easily. And that is really, really true. 6 years ago, I became homeless, and I remember the night that I became homeless. I was put into emergency accommodation. It was a really bad, inhabitable space that we were put, my son and I. And I put him to sleep in a clean area that I could find. And he was 15, so he wasn't a small child, but he was still a child nonetheless. And I remember sitting in the other room and crying. And I don't cry too quickly, but I did cry that night. And then I stopped myself and said, look, you can either drown in these tears or you can get up and dance in the puddles they're making. It's your choice. And I said to myself, I'm going to get out of this. And I wanted to ask myself to be strong. And I did. I remember saying to myself, can you do this? Can you be strong? Because you've got a child that's looking up to you, and you've got to do it for you. You know, I said to myself, I've got to do this for me. It was a step into the right direction, and it was difficult because I'd left a domestic violence home. I'd left a partner of 23 years, but I knew it had to get bad before it got better. And with healing as well, people think it's this beautiful, magical healing process that you go through and you're suddenly smiling and happy and chirpy, but you have to go through really into the depths of despair before you can start coming back up. And but when you do, and you've got rid of that whole guilt, whether it's trauma or whether it's grief, whatever you're feeling, once you've managed to clear yourself of that and understood that it's not you that's caused that, somebody else has caused it, and you couldn't have done anything else to change that, then you feel very free. You feel like that anchor that you've been carrying around, you've literally just dropped it, and you feel light. And that's when it starts to get beautiful. That's when all the little fairies and the butterflies come about. But there is always light, as they say, at the end of the tunnel.
Such an inspirational story. And I'd love for you to share a little bit more about that pep talk you gave yourself of the strength and that process of what recommendations you have
Yeah,
when it's so
yeah, sure.
scary to have those pep talks.
Well, you just used an amazing word, Jamie, scary. And anything that's going to change your life is going to be scary. If you think you're going to make a huge change, whether it's a new job, you get those feelings on going for an interview, you feel scared. So I'm putting it in a different comparison, but can you imagine walking out of a house? And we didn't walk, we ran for our lives. So can you imagine running away with just what we were wearing? We're running for our lives because it was a murder attempt on our lives. Can you imagine that fear? And when fear takes over your body, you almost just shut down. So it was a really difficult time. But there'll be somebody out there listening who's full of fear, full of fear. Maybe their parents are making them feel scared, or their boyfriend or husband's making them scared, or a teacher or somebody's bullying them at somewhere. And I want to say to that person, stand up to that fear. What's the worst thing they can do to you? The worst thing that my ex-partner could have done to me was kill me. But let me tell you, he tried. He set my pillow on fire. He tried numerous times. And it wasn't just him. My father tried, my brother tried. So unless I'm a cat, which I really don't think I am, I've survived, and you will survive too. It's just a case of being brave, trying to push that fear away just for a moment, just so you can make the choice to take one step forward. And even though I ended up in a horrible place with disgusting, it was a really bad place I ended up. It was, to describe it, the carpets were full of human urine. That's just part of the description. I'm not going to go into it too much, but I could have turned around and gone back to my home comforts, because we get used to what we like, and we get used to our blankets, and we get used to our chairs, and we all have our favorite place to sit on the sofa. You know, these are our home comforts, which I've done, you've done. But all I'm going to say is that once you take that one step, you're one step closer to freedom. And I kept telling myself as I walked in that door, I said to myself, well, it's better than where I was. I left a five, six, I left a 7-bedroom house with a beautiful house with cars and everything, but it was never a home. There was no happiness. There was just, I was always scared. I was always walking on eggshells. I walked into this horrible flat that they gave me to live in temporarily, but it was a safer place. And I took one step, and then I took another step. And at one point we had nowhere to live, but I was free. And that freedom, you know, you have to keep going. You have to keep saying to yourself, it's almost like having somebody on your shoulder telling you, no, you've got to go back. You can't do this. That doubt's there. But just like the doubts within you, you've also got the strength. You've also got the voice saying you want a better life. If you've got children, you want a better life for the children. If you've got, if you've had a whole life of bad things happening, there's that little voice inside you saying, I want to survive. I want a good life. I want to be like everybody else that's going out on a Saturday night. I don't want to be sat here doing nothing and not being able to live my life. So you have to almost talk to yourself in a way that you're telling yourself off almost. Otherwise, you just go back to the same, oh, I'm not going to do this. No, no, I don't want to get out of my comfort zone. And it's not just a comfort zone. Like I said, fear makes you so scared that you think you haven't got a choice, but you do have a choice. I wish somebody had said to me, Nina, you have a choice. You choose to sit there. You make excuses. Just like you've heard it before about going to the gym, you've heard it before about losing weight. People are saying, oh, you know, and you understand that. But when you're also in a situation that's unsafe, it's not safe, you have a choice. So please, if you can't do it, ask somebody to help you. If you've got nobody to help you like I didn't, then somebody, the authorities or someone will be around. You just have to reach out.
Embracing courage to take that choice and step forward is so much courage and strength required. As you took that first step, I can't even imagine how much that required from you. But how did you keep going and take the second and third step to where you
Yeah.
are now?
As I said, the way I got out of it was, I'm very much a person that likes to give. If you need something, Jamie, I'll say, yeah, of course, let me get this, and I'll help you out. If somebody needs something and I've got one of them, I'll say, well, I've only got the one, but you can have it. I'm very much that person. But there's a lot of people like me out there, and we're very much givers because we've never had it, so we don't want anybody else not to have it. But I learn, and I'm learning the gift of acceptance, and I'm learning to accept things. And I got to a situation where, as I said, I believe in angels, and my angel is a beautiful angel. She doesn't even know that I talk about her, but I just love her so much. But she opened her doors to us and she said, look, let your son stay here. If you don't want to stay here, if you want to sleep wherever, just let him stay here. I have spare rooms. And she was so giving, you know, She's a woman of faith, and she is pure by heart, and she opened her doors openly. She didn't know us, and not many people do that. Not many people will give you that safe haven, I'll call it. And we needed it. We really needed it. But once I did get there, you know, I did work, I did cleaning, I did whatever I needed to do really. And I had a plan. Then I had a plan. I knew that if I got this much money, I'd be able to rent a place. And she did loan me some money. She, you know, she did help me with money, and I paid her back. But the thing is, I had a plan of action, and you need that. You need to know where you're going. Where do you want to be? And then I had 30 days, and I knew in the 30 days, I said to myself, in 15 days' time, I need to have at least 1 month's rent, because we'd found a few places and they said you need to pay 2 months' rent up front plus a deposit. She said, Nina, I will pay the deposit because I'll get it back, but you try to find the rest. You know, I mean, she would have paid everything, but she knew that I was a very proud person. And also I was had to do it for myself. I had to show myself I could do this, because it's a sense of achievement. When you do something and you've got a plan and you know where you're going, it's a sense of achievement to say, I'm one step closer. And then you look back and you think, well, I can get there again. And you break it down. So you know, in 3 days, where will I be? In 30 days, where will I be? In 60 days or 3 years, where will I be? And I think with life, I've been very much a planner. I've always been very good at visualizing and breaking things down, because if you say all in one go, it's overwhelming. How will I afford this? How will I do this? I didn't worry too much. I knew things would work out. I had faith, and I just looked at the immediate things I needed to do to make that goal happen. And we can all do that. I'm nobody special. I'm like you. Whoever's watching this, I am you. You are me. There's so many similarities between us, and I hope I resonate with somebody. Everybody can do this. It's just finding that will from here, that heart, and that courage to make it happen.
So courageous, and I appreciate our one nature of this collective consciousness. I feel the energy, and it's so beautiful. And I hope that anyone that's receiving these messages is feeling the heart-centered love, because it's all a reflection and a mirror of how we can wake up and embrace that courage.
Yeah. If somebody had said to me, Nina, you've been through abuse as a child, Nina, you've been through abuse as with an arranged marriage, and now you're here with this man, he doesn't love you. I would have said, I know. This is the worst thing. When you're in a situation, you know. When someone's being bullied, they know. But if someone's told you from childhood you are not good enough, and there's a lot of you out there that will feel that you are not good enough, I'm going to say that you are the only people that can decide whether you are good enough. They can't. And I'm good enough. I'm more than good enough. I love myself, and I've learnt to love myself. And when you stop thinking that everyone else's opinion of you is the truth, that's when you have this, as I keep saying, this weight on our shoulders that we're carrying. They just fall off, and you feel free, and you think, oh, I can move about now. I'm not being pushed down. I'm not being, I'm not shrinking to fit into the box they want you to be in, because you choose which box you want to be in. And I want to be in a positive box. I want to be in the box, not the box like a caged animal in a zoo. I don't want to be that person. I've lived that life. I want to be the box that Barbie comes out of, and she looks so beautiful and pretty, and she's gorgeous, and she's making everybody smile and happy. I'd rather be in that box. Bad
So
example.
it resonates on so many levels, and the not good enough story is something that certainly strikes a chord. And I know that we all have this programming of these beliefs, and it's how do
Yes.
we remove those and create
Yeah.
our own box without a lid that we can
Yeah.
expand and evolve in and be our true selves.
Do you know what I think we should do with the boxes? We should just throw them away. That's what I think
There's
we
no
should do.
box.
Just throw them away and decide to live how we want to live. Let's not try to fit in. Let's just be ourselves. Because I've written a book called Master Your Life, Live the Life of Your Dreams. And in the book, I've written about self-love, which was my favorite. it was my favorite part of the book, I have to admit, because I was learning so much about myself. So I was super excited about this chapter. And I've realized that with society, with social media, we all want long hair, we all want shiny hair, we all want perfect eyebrows. I'm talking to the women, but maybe the men want it as well. But we have this image of how we should look. But then when you have long hair, you want short hair. When you've got black hair, you want blonde hair. So we're always comparing ourselves to somebody instead of saying, this is how I am. Inside, I'm a beautiful person because I'm good, and this is how I want to be, and being happy with that. And what I love is that we're all born from different ethnicities, we all live in different areas of the world, and we can celebrate that beauty, but we're all starting to look very much the same, which for me, I know this is a touchy subject, but my point is that I want you just to be you, because that's the beautiful part of you. And I love that everyone's different, because nobody else can be you. You could say exactly what I'm saying to somebody else and it will be totally different because it's you that's saying it. I could quote somebody's quotes from their book, but it's my voice that's sending you the message. So it's unique to me. And we all have traumas, we all do, whether you've lost a job or whether you've lost a relative, or whether you've lost a loved one. A loss is a loss, and we have to respect everybody else's losses, but it's how we move forward from that. Okay, you've had a loss, but what are you going to do with that loss? What are you going to do? You can I've lost a child, and it was one of the hardest things for me, I have to admit. It's probably the lowest part of my life. And we all have that one year where we just get stuck and we can't seem to move forward, we can't go backwards, and we're kind of not sure where we are. And that year, my pillow was never dry. It was one of those horrible years, but I didn't stay there. I didn't stay there because I had to let go and accept things and understand that things happen for a reason. We can't control things. We can't control what Jamie's going to say to me. I can't control that. Jamie can't control what I say. And when you start to understand that you can only look after you and understand yourself, and you're responsible for your own actions. If someone's imposing themselves on you, they have a problem within normally. I understand that people are having battles within their own minds and they're taking it out on you. They might not feel good enough. They might see your light and be scared of your light. They might feel intimidated by your pure heart. And so they're going to pick on you because that's how human nature is. But you don't deserve that. You deserve so much more. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about reaching out to people and saying, I love you so much because I've got so much love for me. I want to give some of that to you because I want you to feel loved. I know how it is to feel unloved. I know how it feels to not be wanted and how to be told you're not good enough, or you're too fat, or you're not pretty enough. I've had all of those things. I don't know how you feel out there, but I know how I felt, and it's not a nice place. So I'm trying to reassure people that you're loved, you're wanted, but let's make a choice. Let's choose something different, because what you're doing now, where you are now, isn't working for you. And there's something better out there for you. You have to have faith. You have to have faith, Jamie.
Divine messages, Nina. Thank you so much for delivering them. And I really appreciate how you were sharing how we need to just be ourselves because
Mm,
that is what we came here to do.
exactly. And you're an amazing, unique person, Jamie. You have this show, you have a voice, and you allow other people to share their voice. And you are a messenger. You're a divine messenger. And I respect you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. We all are. And I truly feel the collective energy and the reflections of all of our journeys. And as easy it is to compare ourselves in this society and culture, remembering that what makes us different is what makes us special. And that's why we're here.
Totally, I totally agree with that. And people might think, well, it's okay for her, but I have said that the journey's not been nice. It's not been pretty. It's been really quite ugly. And I'm still on this journey. I've not got to the other end yet. I'm still on this journey, but I'm not worrying about things. And I really would like people to stop worrying so much, because worrying takes away today's pleasures, and it really does. Today I had the sun out. We had the sun in London. It was beautiful. I don't know what the weather was like over there. What was it like, Jamie?
It's sunny right now. I'm so
Oh, is it
grateful
sunny
for
right
the
now?
natural
Okay. I keep
lighting.
forgetting there's a time. Well, we had beautiful sunshine, and I was working on editing some documents actually. But I said to myself, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop, and I'm going to go out in the garden, and I'm just going to stand for 2 minutes. I'm allowed that. And you have to understand, if you don't make time for yourself, nobody else will. And self-care, like self-love, is so important, because we become consumed in whatever we're doing, and we think, well, I'll just get to this, then I'll finish this. I'll get to the top of the hour, and then I'll finish what I'm doing. But sometimes you just need to stop and walk away, especially with the pandemic. We're all working from home. We're not doing our normal routine. Things are still closed. So even if you're standing outside on your doorstep, do it. Get some air. It's really needed.
I love the idea of going out into the garden, especially because
Yeah,
nature nurtures us on that soul level, and the
yeah,
present is our gift. So when we're able to be there in the moment and just appreciate the littlest things like the feeling of sunshine or fresh air, it's a complete reset, and we're able to
yeah.
realign with what is it we're doing and why are we here?
Exactly. So I'm very much about grounding. So I like to go out and stand on the grass, and I did it when it was snowing. I did it when it was raining. And I do my I ams, and I'm sure you probably do I ams, don't you? I thought we did. Yeah, we're all on the same boat. But for people that don't do I ams, they're very easy. I will literally go and stand on the grass, but you can do it anywhere. You can do it while you're lying in bed. You can do it while you're sitting on a desk, anywhere. But I would say to you, please do them, because you start to believe what you're telling yourself. If you tell yourself you're ugly, or you're too fat, or you speak about yourself negatively, you believe that. So if you stand like I do in my garden and say, I am healing, I believe then I am healing. And it's something I say every day. After the third or fourth day, you do start to believe I'm healing, and you say it with a smile. You start off with a bit of a I'm healing. Second day, I'm healing. And the third day is I'm healing. And that energy comes in and you feel it exactly. So please go out there and say that you are enough, you are beautiful, you are healing, and that you will be free. Say that you will be free. And you all have it within you, and you will be free. That is my prayer for you all.
I am free, I am healing, I am growing, I am here.
Exactly. So beautiful.
I love it. And the I am statements are so helpful, especially when we catch ourselves with the doubt and the critic, and you hear that negative dialogue. When we are able to have that comeback moment of pausing and
Yeah,
replacing that statement with three I am statements, it helps reprogram that.
it really does. Yeah. Well, another thing that I do is I write things down, and whoever's listening might find this helpful. If you are stuck in a relationship, I actually did keep a journal, and I had to hide it because it was really difficult to do anything. But just by releasing that emotion, releasing that fear, as soon as you write something down, I do believe that it's almost like a magical spell, and you're releasing your tension. It's just going. And so many successful people now are saying, oh, I write a journal every morning. I don't check my phone. I wake up, I do my yoga, green tea. I don't actually do that. That's what they say. But that, they write a journal. But it's such good practice, and you can write anything. You almost can write it like a dear diary, which is what it is effectively. And we used to do that back in the day. But and I look back on my journals, and I've written to my friend, because I felt that that journal was my friend. And some of it's sad, but there are a few good bits. When I had my daughter, I've written in there that I've had this daughter, and she's amazing, she's beautiful. And some days are really sad, and I've read them and my heart breaks to even read them. But it's a reflection again of where I am now, and I've come so far in life. And it's actually 5.5 years. I keep saying 6 because I've got a habit of rounding things off. But in 5.5 years to go from having nowhere to live, no food, no nothing, no clothes, to going to where I am now. I'm living in a comfortable house and I want more. I don't want more for me. I want more for my children. I want a bigger house for them so they can all be comfortable. But also, you have to look after yourself first before you can look after anybody else. So, if I'm successful, I'm going to have more time to give to people. I'm going to have more time to fly to America or wherever I go, Canada, wherever I choose to go, Europe, and then have more time to speak to people because I'm not being paid for the speaking at the moment and I'm doing it because I want to do it. So nothing would stop me coming out there to give the speech because I feel it's a message that's been brewing in me for so many years that if I don't get this message out and get to help people, then I'm not doing a service that I have been chosen to do. And as you know, when we've been on Clubhouse, people gravitate towards you and people do come to you. Now, I was on Clubhouse yesterday and I had about 3 messages in my inbox saying, "Do you think you could tell me how to do this?" And of course, I'll tell people how to do things because I've been there where you just want somebody to answer your question. You just want somebody. And a friend of mine, he named my company actually. He said when he's not sure what to do, he always says, "What would my Nina do?" And I said, "Oh, Cedric, that's amazing. I'm going to start calling my company My Nina." So if you're out there and you don't know what to do, contact me. Just ask me a question and I might be able to help you and I might not. But it's that horrible feeling that you have when you just think to yourself, if someone could just tell me what to do. I'm so overwhelmed by this emotion. I'm so overwhelmed by not knowing how to get out of this situation. And Jamie will know things that I don't know, and I might know things Jamie doesn't know. But as humanitarians, we should be helping each other. We shouldn't be turning our backs on one another. You know, we're in a beautiful room on Clubhouse, and everybody shares so much love that you cannot go into that room and come out not feeling loved. Everybody feels the love.
There's so much love, and when we share it with our communities, whether virtual or in real life, it has that ripple effect. And a
Yes,
practice that is so powerful is how can we share that love and do one good deed to share
yeah,
it forward every day?
definitely. To change a life, I've said to my children, you know, that I want to just be able to change somebody's life. And in the long term, I want to have a non-profit because I want someone to be there on the first night when somebody's removed from their home and they've got nowhere to go to say, what do you need? Do you need some pajamas? Do you need a blanket? Do you need money for heat? How about we get you some food? How about we just get you a hot meal? Or this place is not habitable. We're going to pay X amount for a hotel or a motel or whatever it is to get them to somewhere clean and safe. And that's what I'd like to do. Just even if I'm helping just for the first night, because that's the worst night, because you're taken away from your home comforts. You don't know what to expect. No one tells you anything. And it's a battle because you're so emotional and you're so drained by the whole it's almost like being abducted and scurried away. It's a very traumatic exchange of events, you know, it's exchange of events, and you really don't know whether you're coming or going. And I remember looking around thinking, do I grab anything? What do I do? And they're saying, no, leave everything. Just you've got to come. We've got 5 minutes. You've got to come. We've got to be out the road. Otherwise, we'll have to call some more police, and we'll have this, you know. And it's very scary. And I remember my son left his phone on the table and he begged the lady that was removing us to go back. So she was like, oh, she was panicking. So we did where I lived, it was a round road, cul-de-sac, it went all the way around. So she drove back and he ran out, got his phone, came back running. And we were panicking because we thought if my ex-partner came, there would be so much trouble. And I didn't want that confrontation. I didn't want my son to see it, and I didn't want it myself. And it's not that I was a chicken, I just didn't want it. I didn't want that whole aminosity and the whole name calling, and you know, it would have just been very ugly. And I didn't want the police to hurt him because I don't want to impose any hurt on anybody. But I knew that it would happen if I didn't get out in that little space that we had. And it was very dangerous to be there. So if somebody is leaving or wants to leave, I would love to say to them, look, plan. And this is Miss Planner who didn't plan, you know, because things sometimes happen and they're out of your hands, so you can't plan. But I would say to somebody, if you can, if you have a mum or you have a sister or a brother or a friend, speak to them and say, can I come and stay with you for a night? and then go to the authorities. Don't go straight to the authorities if you've got somebody, because it's not a nice place to be. And I understand that your ex-partner might know where you're going, so try to think around it. But I think when you're with somebody that loves you, they will stick up for you and they will be brave for you and they will be your spirit, because your spirit's broken when you're in a relationship like this. You're shattered. You're almost like the way you think life should be in the reflection of a mirror. It's not there. It's just like a mirror shattered into 1,000 pieces and you don't know which piece to pick up first. And you can't really help yourself. So you do need somebody out there if you've got somebody. Yeah.
True courage.
Courage. Choice. It's really choice. That is my message. Choice. That you make the choice. That the choice is there. Yeah.
Takes so much courage to make that choice though, and to be able to
Yes.
see what even are the choices you can pick from.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's difficult to, if you're not doing it for yourself, you have to do it for your children. And that's where I think I still suffer a little bit from guilt, that I didn't look at the fact that somebody that set my pillow on fire is not normal. And I couldn't see that. I was so blinded by the situation that I couldn't understand. I kept thinking, he won't do anything. He won't really kill me and he won't hurt them. But he did try. So don't fool yourself. Be honest with at least yourself. You can lie to the world, but be honest with you. Be honest with yourself and say to yourself, this is dangerous for my life, and value your life. I didn't value my life. I didn't value my life. I do value my life now. I know that I need to be here. I need to be here for myself first. Then I need to be here for my children. Then I need to be here for you. So I do need to be here. And you also need to be there. You know, whoever you are listening to this, you are needed. You are needed because you have a purpose. You have a message. You can help one person. We can all help. Imagine if the whole world, we helped one person in our lives. What, like you said, what a ripple effect that would have. It would be amazing. Forget the Mexican wave. We would just be passing on love to everybody.
Absolutely. And I feel like that is our collective purpose of doing good and sharing the love throughout the world.
Yes, I totally agree. And why wouldn't you want to love anybody? If
Well,
anybody's out there and has Clubhouse, you must join the room that we join.
yes, finding all of the love everywhere, whether it's online or just in the energy. For anyone that might be struggling with what is my purpose, or maybe they have the false belief that they don't have a purpose,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them?
And it's funny you said that, because I didn't know I had a purpose, Jamie. I didn't. And I didn't understand why. I never questioned why things happened to me. I just thought I didn't deserve better. I didn't know I had a purpose. And now the more I talk to people, the more people are using this word that, wow, Nina, you've been through all these things, but you know, there must be a reason. And there's the little signs were always there along my life, but I just ignored them. And whoever's listening to this will have had signs, but they dismiss them because they think, well, that's just silly. But what would you tell your younger self? Go back 5 years. What would you tell that person 5 years ago? Would you tell that person you're going to be hit, you're going to be pushed, you're going to be kicked? What would you tell them? What would you tell your younger inner child? What would you tell yourself when you were a child? I'll put it in an example format. I would tell my 5-year-old self that she's loved. That's what I would tell her. I would tell my 20-year-old self that she's strong, because I can see she's going to go through this amazing journey and she's going to end up here like this. I would tell my 40-year-old self, because I'm older, I would tell my 40-year-old self that you're beautiful, you're not too fat, you're not ugly. Forget what everyone says. They can, whatever, just focus on you. You are amazing. That's what I would tell them. I wouldn't say run. I wouldn't say get out. I wouldn't say those things, because I know that I had to go through those things to be me. But if I'm speaking to somebody else, I would say, get out now. And if I was writing a letter to myself, I would definitely, after having my youngest son, I would have left, or I would have call the police, I would have done something, because there's a lot of things that I've been through that were unnecessary. And you can't change people's behavior. You can't make them love you. You don't have to understand either. I spoke to somebody the other day and she said, but why? You know, he was my best friend and I don't understand why. And I said, it's going to make no difference. Even if you know why, it's going to make no difference. He doesn't know why. And people act in the way that they think is okay to act. So they're not getting it from a textbook. They're behaving from whatever feels right for them here, even though it's not right for you. Sometimes they don't know why. You know, how many times have you been angry or you've had an argument with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a friend or your mum or your dad, and afterwards you sit there and think, actually, what was that about? I'm not quite sure. And in the same respect, but in a bigger scale, that's how people, when they get angry or they feel insecure because they've had trauma in their childhood, then they will take it out on you and there's no explanation. All you need to understand is that you should never put yourself anywhere that you're not safe. Never do that. Remember that you are good enough, and take some courage. Take away the fact that you have a choice, that you must be courageous, and that there's a better life waiting for you. You just have to take one step, baby steps, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And then you'll end up somewhere like I am, where it doesn't matter actually where you're sitting or sleeping or living. Life is beautiful because that's how you see life. And I see life to be so beautiful. And I wake up every day and I'm so grateful that I'm here. And I just love everybody. There's not one person I don't love. And I want them to love themselves, because it's a free, you're free when you love yourself. You've got nothing bringing you down. All those weights that I was carrying around for years and years, I've let them go a long time ago. As I said, I threw the box out the window and now I'm here.
Glowing with gratitude.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's a nice phrase, actually. Yes. And I have written this book, which I think will change lives. I know it will change lives. As I said, it's called Master Your Life, Live the Life of Your Dreams. And it covers topics like money, health, self-love, families, because a lot of the reason people don't leave marriages is because of the extended families. But you see, if your family or your in-laws know what's going on, if they're not helping you, then they're not really looking out for your best interests. And if they are looking out and they're saying to you, I'm going to use just any name, you know, it's not normal, you have to listen to them, because when you're so engrossed in a situation, you can't see what is right and what isn't. But when you stand back, you can say, well, hold on a minute, that picture's not quite straight. And it's the same sort of concept. They can see that something's not right. So you deserve that. You really should just listen to whoever's talking to you. They're not staring. They're not trying to cause a problem. They love you. And you have got that. You're extremely lucky. Mm.
Love is at the core. And I appreciate you mentioning taking that step back, because sometimes, and I love this metaphor of meditation, of sitting beside the river and noticing the river. But sometimes we're in the river, down the stream, and it's just, we're so close to it that you can't see it objectively. But having the courage to step out
Yeah.
and take a look at what's happening. Oh, there's a giant boulder in this river. That's why there's a block. How is this obstacle here to detour us in the right direction?
Yeah, I think that's completely it, an amazing example. And you'll notice how beautiful the river is. You'll start hearing the river. Things that you don't hear before, you'll start seeing things you've never saw before. And it's that appreciation that kicks in, that gratitude kicks in. And that's when your inner peace is highest, because you feel that peace from here. Whereas you're running and you're always, it's fight or flight mode that you're in. You're always trying to dodge a punch, or what's he going to say? Is he going to be in a happy mood, or is she going to be angry when she gets back? You know, that horrible feeling you've got when you're, and you shouldn't be living that way. Nobody should be living that way. Now, you know, I spoke to somebody the other day and I said, but what food do you like and what music do you like? Because I'd been living with somebody for 16 years and they were so consumed by what the other person liked, and they tried to please the other person, that they'd forgotten themselves what they'd liked. And I said, well, this is exciting. Go on a journey and find different things and find new activities. And it's almost like you're reborn. It's a really strange concept, but it's such a beautiful thing. It's like you are really starting to live life and find rewrite the alphabet almost to suit you, how you want it to be. And it's yeah, I would just love for everybody to feel as free as I do. Yes.
I love that practice, and I hope that that can be an actionable takeaway for everyone that's hearing these messages of you have the choice and you can choose what your favorite things are without comparing. So go out there and experience your
Yeah.
senses. Notice what food makes you feel alive and what sounds harmonize you with the symphony of love that's always here.
Yeah. You see, I think we become so complacent is the right word. It's like when you're working in an office or where you've got a job, even if it's an amazing job and you're a CEO of a company, it's quite easy just to become complacent and do the everyday Groundhog Day, and just keep going, same thing, get home. But it pays the bills, or it's a good job, it's secure, it's a safe job. I've always wanted to write. I've always wanted to talk. I've always wanted to help others. So if I didn't go with what I wanted to do, I could have had a corporate job and I could have been earning a lot of money and probably living in a better place than I am now. But my heart wasn't ever in it. And people don't understand. So you will get pressurized. And I've had it numerous times where, "Oh, you really want to go and get yourself a good job now?" And I'm thinking, okay, not really. And you have to go against the grain sometimes, is what I'm trying to say. You have to follow your heart. All these phrases you've heard lots of times, but have you actually understood the message? Have you actually thought, what does it mean to follow your heart? It doesn't necessarily mean to follow your heart in a fairy tale effect and fall in love with Prince Charming or a princess at the top of a tower. Well, if you do, that's amazing for you, but follow your heart for yourself first. Follow your heart and find what you love, your dreams. Be your own fairy tale hero, as they say, or princess or prince. Find your own white horse and ride off into the sunset. Do that for you first, and then if somebody's supposed to be there for you, I believe in chance meetings, you'll meet somebody. If someone's, and somebody will be there. I believe we all have somebody out there. You'll find that right person, they'll come along and you'll know it. You won't have to question it. You won't have to say, "Oh, I met this really nice girl and she seemed really nice." But now, when the but comes in, that's an automatic indication of the universe telling you no. If you don't have that feeling and you feel happy and you feel yourself, then you know you're in the right company. Almost like when I've met you, I know we instantly got on. We had a little chat before, we were just bouncing off one another. We were so happy. There was no issues. The energy was flowing beautifully. And when it flows in that way, there's nothing stopping it. And the energy is stopping, that's when the confrontations come on, because you're not compatible, but you ignore it because that's what you think you want. But you won't know what you want unless you clear the rocks out of the way and you can flow down the river as as you were describing. But yeah, you've just got to start listening to words as well. Words are hugely important.
Absolutely. And I hope that listening to this conversation, even if some of these phrases like follow your heart have been heard many times throughout our lifetime, I trust that those that are ready to open and receive are receiving and internalizing what that actually means. The same way you can hear a song over and over and over again, and then one day it clicks.
Yeah, definitely. My I like to use the term for myself. I say often in my speech, I say as well that I'm a woman who dare to dream. And by that, I'm saying daring is something that you're going against what you should be doing. And I'm daring to do something that I'm not supposed to do. But I want that dream. I want that dream. So I dared to dream. And I do say to everybody, why don't you dare to dream? If I can do it, then I'm saying to you, well, Nina's saying to you, guys, dare to dream. That dream could come true. And imagine how you would feel sitting in that dream car that you want, or living in that amazing house that you want. And I'm not just talking to people with problems now, I'm just talking to everybody. Everyone is included. Imagine how it would feel to be in your perfect beach home or mountain home where you go skiing, or just, I'm a car freak. I love cars. So behind the wheel of an Aston Martin or whatever it is for you that that you want. And what, there's nothing wrong with wanting. It's not about being materialistic. This is the thing. It's not an ego thing. It's enjoying life. And if you're doing it for the right reasons, it's good. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons because you want Aunt Nancy up the road to have a look at you, so you can say, well, look, I made it, Auntie, you know, that's wrong. You want to do it for you. You want to do it for your pleasure. And I get the littlest pleasures, as you were saying, from just walking in the woods sometimes when I go, or if I go to my daughter's near the sea, she lives near the sea. I love those things, watching the sunrise, simple little pleasures. But if you want something bigger, there's nothing wrong with it, because you deserve that and you should have it. So whoever you are, don't sit and think, I wish. Make it happen. And you can make it happen by breaking it up into doable things. Like when I was there with no home, and I said, right, I've got 3 days to decide where I want to live. What kind of place do I want? I've got 30 days to save up money. How much do I need? By the 15th day, I want to have saved at least half. And by the 30th day, I was there. I was getting the keys and I was signing, and I made it happen. And you can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And you deserve it. Yeah.
So inspiring. And through that imagination with intention,
Yes.
even just describing everything that you shared, I'm visualizing and feeling like you can almost smell it, like smell the nature, smell the garden, and all those things. And I feel like when we're imagining through that intention of how we want to feel for ourselves, not to impress or compare, that's how we manifest it. And that's how we make
Definitely.
it happen.
You're completely right. That is manifestation completely. It's not about wanting things. It's not about wanting things for the luxury or the show purpose. It's for wanting, I want a home. I don't want a huge home to show off to people. I want a home for security, for my children to be able to know they have somewhere where they don't have to be homeless again. And that's where it comes from. I don't want them to ever have to be homeless again. So I want to give them that security, that blanket of security that's going to just hold them together, and they can stay there and they can always have somewhere to go. And I will have it because I'm determined to get it. But, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if I want a 10-bedroom house, there's nothing wrong with that, because I want it for the right reasons. I don't want it, as you said, not for a materialistic or a pretentious. It's nothing like that. I want it for the pleasure of having it. I want it to give to them. I want it for the, you know, the want of a better life for them. And I've been dreaming it, and I sit, and when I'm in the garden, I manifest, and I say, I can see, I almost talk about it like it's already happened. So
Mm.
sometimes I'm in my kitchen, and I'll look out and pretend I can see my drive that goes all the way around, you know, with a little fountain in the middle. And why not? Why, I deserve it. And so do you. And I keep saying this because we're always told, you know, we're always told to think small. We are. And our parents are always telling us how hard it was to get the money, and that money doesn't grow on trees. And, oh, don't touch that. Do you know how much it costs? And, oh, now you're wasting. And we're taught this all the time. So we have that negative mentality about money. But really, money is just, it's just a source of, it's just an object. It's not something that is, we can get lots of it if we want to get lots of it, but it's how we think about it. If I say to myself, oh, you know what, I've not got enough money this week, oh, I've never got enough, I will never have enough. If I say to myself, I'm going to find the money to come to Detroit and I will be there, I'll find it. But if I say, I'm not going to get to Detroit, I don't know how I'm going to do it, oh, and it's that negative, and it brings you straight down, and you become this person. Whereas you're saying, no, I'm going to be there. And I imagine waving at everyone and smiling and talking to everyone. And everyone's saying, well, you've got a really funny accent. Where are you from? You know? So it's how your mentality is and how you think about money that will make a huge difference. And I wish somebody had told me that, because I did worry about money when I was running a business. I would worry about where I would get my wages from for the staff. I would worry about how I'd pay the taxes. And I didn't need to. I needed just to have a plan in action. And money does come to you when you stop thinking so much about it. It's strange how the universe works, but things just start to happen, and they happen for a reason, because you almost relax. You almost just relax, and you're here, and it's okay, it's going to come to you. It's like football players. And when I say football, I mean soccer to you. When my sons used to be relaxed, they used to play the most amazing game. When they used to be stressed, they used to miss passes, and they weren't in the right place at the right time. And that's how life is. You just need to literally take a deep breath out and just ride with it and just let that energy flow naturally. Yeah,
I love that reminder. And money is energy. So when we flow
yeah,
naturally and we relax, like we're playing a game of soccer or football, it comes naturally and we score the goal.
exactly. Yeah, we want to score lots of goals. We're only here once, we're on this earth once. Let's have the best time that we possibly can. Why not?
Coming back to the moment, appreciating all of these gifts, it's such a blessing.
It is. When you have hit rock bottom and you don't have anything, you do appreciate things so much more. But I am quite blessed in respect that I've always taught my children, because I've worked very hard. I did send them to an independent school, but I worked very hard for them to go there. So they saw their mother constantly working to give them the gift of education. That's how I saw it. And networking, who you're surrounded by makes a huge difference. And the people that were in those schools, they were all professionals. Their parents were all professionals. So the children had this mindset that they wanted to do something, but they were also very kind to one another. There was no animosity, there was no jealousy. They were all very nurturing and very uplifting. You always get one or two people that are not so, but the majority of the people, they were very loving, there was a real union of feelings. The way they supported one another was amazing, like teamwork, and that's what I loved. So the things I've done, I've never had lots of money to throw around because I've always used it sensibly. And even now, I work with a non-profit up the road because I know what it's like to be homeless. And you don't have to give money to people. This is where people go wrong. Just walking past somebody that's sitting on the side of the road begging for money, because that's all they know how to do. You don't have to give them anything, but you can speak to them. You can smile at them. They're human. That was me. It could be you, you don't know. So don't ignore them like they're there because you feel uncomfortable. Don't feel uncomfortable. It's just another human being that just needs a little bit of love. And if you could just smile, you can change someone's day, because I know when I smile at people, they feel good about themselves. You smile at a lady, and I often say, oh, I love your hair, or oh, I love that jacket. 'Cause I do. I love everything about everyone. And they'll go off with a bit of a spring in their step. And why wouldn't they? So imagine how it is for the person that's sat on the floor and been ignored in the cold, and he's struggling or she's struggling anyway. For you just to sort of smile and say, how are you getting on? I can't stop, but I just wanted to say, how are you getting on? It doesn't cost anything.
The human to human connection is so powerful. And like you shared, it really takes the littlest things to have that ripple effect and brighten someone's journey.
It really does. It means so much. I just know from my own experiences how one person's kind eyes, as I'm going to say, just the way they smile at you with their eyes, and now everyone's wearing a mask. That's all you see. So if someone's just smiling at you, it can really change your whole day. Just one act of kindness.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing up the mask thing because now it's like smizing with your eyes. But I've
Yeah.
had situations where I take off my mask just to say hi because I feel
Yay. Come on, Jamie.
if
I
we're
do the same.
socially distant, it's safe to do that.
Of course, yeah, no, of course, within, keeping everybody else safe and yourself safe foremost. But we are losing that human interaction, which I have written about in my book as well, because I've written a bonus chapter on COVID, just because I think people are really struggling. And I'm so happy that I've wrote it, because when I was in Clubhouse, a lot of the people that I'm helping on Clubhouse are not seeing their therapists and not seeing anybody. So they're feeling very isolated. They're feeling very alone. They're feeling almost, oh, I can't talk about it because I feel silly. But no, if you feel something, it matters. It matters to me. It matters that you're feeling that way. Let's talk about it. So if you are out there and you are feeling isolated and you're listening to this message, reach out to somebody, and maybe whoever you are listening to the message, send 3 or 4 people a text message and just say, hey, are you okay? I was thinking about you, and just let them know. Let's reach out and spread some love all around this world.
What a great actionable. I'm so excited for all of us to extend our arms out, give hugs
Yeah.
to ourselves and our others and our community, and even just a small message of a smiley face in real
Just,
life or an emoji.
yeah,
It all goes
yeah,
good.
exactly. You're completely right. Just an emoji. It takes 2 minutes. just to send a funny video or a funny message. And laughter is one of the best things. I have a friend called Chris Kennedy in America, and he's just so funny. Every time I look on his Instagram page, and guys, check him out, he just has, it's silly humor, but it makes me laugh so much. And I think laughter is one of the nicest things. It just lifts your spirit. So if you are feeling down, if you have been stuck at home, go find something funny to watch. Just even on YouTube, you know, the world is at your access fingertips. Just type in a funny video and watch something with the family, maybe if you're all stuck at home with the children or your parents. Just find something funny and just start having some more family time, but making memories. Let's not let the pandemic give us the memories we don't want. Let's create some good memories for ourselves. We can still do that.
Yes. Laughter is medicine, and when we can welcome that in and create new memories around laughter and joy, it will really rechange the story.
That's right. And you'll remember 2021 for different reasons because you've had fun. And with Zoom calls, like we've been smiling since we both got on here. So create a Zoom room, you know, let's get some people on, create a Zoom room, think about something. I mean, we've done quizzes on Zoom. We've had all sorts of fun, countdown and different types of, because the British, we like our little pub quizzes. So we've been missing out. So we've created little quizzes, but think of something, or just get a load of people, family, do a big family get together and just put some music on and everyone just have a good time. You're still seeing one another, and that's where the human interaction is disappearing, because we're not even seeing one another. So we're literally behind closed doors, and everybody's going to feel sad. And for those of you that are stuck with somebody that's abusive, you know, my heart goes out to you, because you're almost trapped, like you're trapped in that box that I was describing. So this is why choice is so important to not just you, but your children, if you have children. And people out there love you, so reach out to them. Please do. Please do.
Yes, action items to reach out to loved ones, share some love, maybe even share this conversation. I'm sure there's a divine message for everyone in it.
I hope so. And you know, the things we've spoken about today, remember, you choose the box you want to live in. Take small steps. If you want to create a life of your dreams, think about what you need to start doing. Write yourself a little plan, a success plan or a goal plan, and break it down into segments and make it doable. Read a book, text a friend, make a funny video and send it to your friend, or get all of your friends. There's so many things that you can take away from our chat today that if you don't feel uplifted after this, then I don't know what. So I'm gonna have to come find you myself and give you a bit of a shake and give you a big hug, because maybe that's what we all need, a huge hug, a world hug. Love to do that.
Hug
Big
for the
hugs.
world.
But yeah, but seriously, guys, please, I'm pleading with you. Just if you know somebody's in trouble, reach out to them. If you know someone's going through a really hard time, give them some empathy. I know sometimes you have a friend that just talks about the same thing but won't do anything. Try and put yourself in their position. Be empathetic. Understand they are scared. They don't think they have a choice. Give them a choice. Help them make that choice. Give them that support. And if you don't have anyone, I didn't have anyone. So if I did it, you can do it. And for those of you that are just fed up with the pandemic, get out and do something. You can still walk around and go places. You're not being restricted to that cage like an animal in the zoo. You're allowed to go out of your home, keep social distancing, but go discover a new park, or just take a drive in your car and put the music on really loud and just have a little party in the in your car like I do. But stay alive, keep feeling alive. Don't let anything get you down. Live for today.
So many beautiful action items. I'm so looking forward to flourishing with our community around the world, no matter where we are in the journey, whether it's a little step or a big step, expanding outside of our comfort zone, whatever that means to you. I'm so grateful for this inspiration, Nina, and this wisdom and these actionable practices so we can start taking courageous action and making that choice today.
Definitely. As I said, if anybody wants to find me, I'm sure they can find me through you, get my words out. And if not, then they can just try to remember the name. It's ninaalt.com. And I'm on Instagram. I'm Nina_the Brit, because I'm quintessentially British and proud. And I have a Facebook page, but I'm not very good at Facebook because we don't use it in England as much, but it's just Nina, Nina. So one way or another, find me. And if you need me, reach out. I will have time for you. I'll make time.
Thank you so much for your presence and
Okay, thanks
sharing
so
all
much.
of the advice. Also, since we mentioned Clubhouse quite a few times, what's your
Yeah.
Clubhouse username?
So Clubhouse name, my name is just Nina Aoulik in Clubhouse. It's as it is at the bottom of this, if you can see this, if it's a visual, otherwise it's spelled Nina, Nina. The surname is super complicated, but I love it. It's Aouilk, Aulk. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we're so excited to continue sharing your amazing work and have these ripple effects of love throughout the universe. I appreciate your presence and wisdom.
Thank you so much. And remember, guys, if you want to watch me at my first international speech, find me on Instagram and buy a ticket from my link tree. And I want to share some love with you and some secrets for you to be able to just move on with any trauma you may have had. And thank you so much for your time today, Jamie.
Thank you for all of the love and presence. I appreciate it. And until next time,
Bye.
bye.
Bye, guys.